Hey everybody, it's Jang here from Jang Bricks, from jangbricks.com with a Mega Bloks Halo set review. This is new for summer of 2013. It is set number 97123. Comes with 684 pieces, officially, plus a whole bunch more left over. And it's officially called the UNSC Hornet versus the Covenant Vampire. A big set, does have the new lights and sounds feature. So let's dive into this and first look at the minifigures. Alright, so while the concept of a vampire and a hornet fighting against each other brings to mind the idea of, or at least the mindset and time frame of Halo Wars, you'll see a lot of Halo 4 references in these minifigs. Left to right, Storm Grunt, and he does have the newer mold of Needler. I like that. I especially like that color. It's the maroon color with just a little bit of iridescence to it. It's got the main armor color there is actually a brown, kind of an orangish brown, and then it's brushed with a little bit of copper paint on top of that to make it look more metallic. You've got a light silver paint on the hump on the back, almost looks like a pearl. And then next over is an Elite. It's a Storm Elite, and I like the face on this guy. I like the eyes. It's got the large, wide open eyes. It's a good look, I think. I like that look in general. Got a dark or a medium silver on the top and a little bit right in there. A little bit of gray down the middle. Otherwise, just black as the accent color. What is he carrying? He's a Storm Elite, and he's carrying a Storm Rifle from Halo 4. That's right. All right, let's take a look at him from some alternate angles. Check him out from the back. There we go. All right, you can see nice little bit of molding down the middle. Compared to the guy next to him, who has a lot of deep molding on him, the Elite Zealot. And just look at the back of that. Look at the head. A lot of detail on his head. This is a very nice Elite mold, and you can see he's got a kind of a lavender color for the 4 lights on his forehead. Has a little bit of frost color for the visor, for the eyes actually. And a little bit less of it got painted on this side, but very impressive this one is. He's got a kind of a hot pink colored energy sword on this, in this case, or plasma sword, and he's got a beam rifle. So there you go with another Halo 4 reference. Again, Halo 4 recruit armor on this Spartan. First time I've seen recruit armor from Mega Bloks. Dark red overall, and a nice matte black wash that makes him look more believable and more real. He's got an all black sticky detonator. Let's check him out from the back. See what that looks like. Okay. Nice detail. I really like the matte black as a wash for these things. It really brings out the detail well. Makes them look more like models and less like toys. Compared to these two guys over here, both of whom actually have a gloss or maybe even a semi-gloss wash that makes them look a little bit more oily in their finish. But wait, who's that? That is an engineer. Not a helmet that you see used very often in multiplayer in Halo 4, but a new unique one. Glad to see more variability, more different stuff here. He's got an all black saw and just a little bit of detail painting on here, silver in there, red right down the middle. Pretty good. And then this is a figure that we've seen before with the soldier armor. He's got a DMR in his hand. This particular one was painted wrong. You can see the visor has been painted much too large. The mold is correct. It's the same mold as before, but this one's been painted all the way across, so that's just a little bit off. But on the whole, this is a nice set of figures, and certainly my favorite is this guy here. This guy is also pretty cool. And I actually like, out of the Spartans, I like the Recruit the best. I think it just has the best presence of all 3 of those. This Hornet is a light and sounds model, so let's go ahead and just take a look at that real quick. The button, there's actually a button to activate motion activation on this. So once I turn it on, it's going to just keep going as I move it around, but we'll just have to deal with that. So I'm going to turn it on now. And you can hear that's the sound of the thing flying around. That's pretty. And as you just move it around, it continues to make that sound. If you're leaning it to... See, that's going to get annoying. That's if you're leaning it to the right. Only if you're leaning it to the right will you consistently get the sound, there it goes, of it flying into battle. If you lean it to the left, you see you get the Gatling gun sound, and it has a little bit of power down sound, and as long as it's leaning to that side, there's a little ball in there. See what I mean? Well, as I was trying to say, there's a little ball in there that acts as a switch, and it's actually going around and activating the two sounds. I very much like the ability to choose which sound that you get. That is exactly how this should work. It's how all of the multiple sound, light and sound modules should work. However, it's an undocumented feature that turning it to one side gives you one sound, turning it to the other gives you another sound, and I wish they just gave you two buttons instead. How difficult is that? They've already got a switch mechanism in there. They already have the two sounds separated. Why not just allow us to control them separately? That would have made it perfect. The Hornet on the whole looks pretty decent, but a little bit toyish compared to some of the other models that they've created. I understand that it's a toy, but you get more appeal to more older folks and collector types of folks if you make a toy look a little bit more realistic, more believable, and while still making it just as playable for younger kids. The build on this one was cool. It's interesting. You actually build the entire upper structure, including the struts out to the engines. You build that basically like this. That's the flat, that's the horizon. And at the end, after building the base this way, you attach this at an angle. There's a whole set of studs that are placed at an angle in there, and it just combines the whole thing together. So a nice build there. It gives you the nice angle. A little bit of inconsistency where they're going with the showing of studs and covering up studs, kind of the smooth and not smooth looks, but I think it's okay. These flaps are able to be moved, so that's a good thing. Engine, very nice. Got an actual transparent red color there. The silver down here on the bottom of this piece is actually paint or print on the outside, and that little peg piece is inserted into there compared to the top, which just shows you the fan inlet. And you can rotate these from side to side. Very cool. Can't rotate them front to back, but you can rotate the entire pod front to back, so that's appropriate. And unfortunately, these just, the way that the parts are molded, they don't like to stay in the center. They like to stay a little bit to the side, and then you can see it kind of pulled itself to the other side. So a little bit tough to get it to have, just a normal straight flight kind of pose. You either end up having both of these angled in a little bit or angled out a little bit. I think angled out a little bit looks a little bit better, but I really appreciate being able to do this, to show the way that those actually turn. The cockpit slides open like this. You don't get any detail in there, unfortunately. It would have been nice if they actually gave us just a sticker to throw on there, but not too bad. Still, you've got your room to throw a Spartan in there. I'll go ahead and take my soldier, since it's a figure that we've seen before, and just toss them in there. There you go. Or you can put a Marine, if you got a Marine in there. And you can put a dude on the side too, and you can put a dude on the other side too. And I appreciate that very much, the ability to actually put other figures on the sides. You've got them riding where they can operate their own guns. You can give them heavy weapons if you have any in your arsenal. This guy's got the sticky detonator that might be able to do the trick. That's good. Playability, I think, is good. The overall look of it is decent. I'm not a big fan of the yellow, but let's go ahead and take a look at the vampire. This is done pretty well. Now this one does not have any light and sound module in it, but let me tell you, the build for this is solid. Completely solid. There's nothing hollow about that except for just the cockpit area. A ton of bricks and plates and plates and plates and more plates all the way through. It's a long build. It's a very sturdy build. This thing is not going to fall apart. It even has little landing skids there that are nice and convenient. The stickers, some of the stickers are okay. These inner ones are not quite as nice. It would have been nice if they had used long pieces in here instead of a couple stacked on top of each other, so you could have used just a single sticker to cover that whole thing up. I did find a little bit of confusion in the instructions. It was off between sticker number 22 and number 24, so if you do get this, pay close attention to the arrangement of the dots to make sure that you get that right so you don't regret it later on. But you know, this is a pretty straightforward build, even though it takes forever. You know, it's just bricks put together on top of each other, beside each other. There's a little bit of upside down work, but nothing too fancy about it. You've got your plasma cannons on little ball hinges out to the side, so you can rotate those around, which is appropriate. Oops, pushed it a little bit too far. They look pretty good. This is supposed to be your heavy needler. It's supposed to be a turret, but it doesn't work out that way because they give you the ability to open that up to actually put a figure in there. So I'll grab this guy. See, that's pretty cool. And he fits right in there. And does this close? It's a little bit of a tight squeeze with that figure. I'm trying to see exactly what part is hitting. Looks like it might be the shoulders being just a little bit on the wide side. Yep, it's the shoulders. I also had a little bit of, yeah, it's mostly the right shoulder. I can feel it now. Kind of having trouble squeezing that in there. I'll try the other figure, see if he fits in there better. Oh no, just lost a leg. What's up with that? There we go. That's a little bit of a better fit. I also noticed with this that kind of needed to, even without a figure in there, I kind of needed to raise the back of this up a little bit in order to get the front of the canopy to come down all the way. Just the way that these parts came out of the mold. Again, Mega Bloks having a little bit of an inconsistency of quality from part to part. The way that these came out, the way that they were warped coming out of the mold, too hot or cooling too fast or something, was not able to get this hinge piece that the whole thing rides on to lie flat. So I actually had to raise this and angle it forward a little bit. Right now it's closing up pretty well, but it's just something you have to look out for. A little bit of a miss again in quality and consistency of parts, but not a bad model this one is, and it was definitely a good build. Overall, I like the set. I especially like at least 4 of the minifigures. I like the design of the engine pods here. Light and sound is a nice feature. I hope that they will do that better in the future and give actually 2 separate buttons when you have 2 major different features that you want to make sounds for. And this is not the first time that we've gotten a vampire. I kind of like this vampire design better than the one that came in the UNSC Covenant Invasion. I definitely like the color on that, especially with the needle bits up towards the top. Overall, a pretty cool set, but $70 for under 700 parts. You know, you're talking about more than 10 cents per part. They're really pushing it on cost now, Mega Bloks is. I figure 20 bucks, almost 20 bucks of that cost is minifigures, so you're left with 50 bucks for 2 vehicles. Not too bad, still, you know, still okay, but I hope they don't continue to push the price up. I know a lot of that price is supposed to be accounting for the extra cost of the light and sound unit, but I don't feel like that adds as much value to this set, given that only one of the things has that feature. If they both had that feature, I'd be a little bit more happy with it, but as it is, I wish this was down about 10 bucks. Actually, honestly, if this was a 50 buck set, I'd be really happy with it. 60 bucks, I'd be okay. 70 feels like it's a little bit too high. So those are just my thoughts on this set. Thank you for watching this review video. Please let me know your thoughts. Let the other viewers know your thoughts about this set, whether you like it or you don't like it. And I'll be coming back with more reviews to come, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't seen my other Halo series Mega Bloks reviews, check out some of those on my channel. And stay tuned for more. You can watch all of my updates as quickly as they're available at jangbricks.com. Hope to see you again soon.